Hey everyone, it's me. I hope you're having a great weekend. So what I'm doing right now is I'm going to go over strings. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go over the methods. Um, just right now the methods themselves. So I've got this split into two parts. We're going to have string easier methods and then string a little bit more difficult methods. So to get started, I've already made two string variables. String x equals hello. String y equals hello with a capital H. Yes, these are very different. They're not identical. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to be commenting my code along with this so that if you ever need to do this or look at some of my notes, fast forward, or do the sake of time, hopefully you'll be able to read it. All right, let's get started. So first thing I need to do is I need to look at my console. Got it. There we go. So the length method. Now what I'm going to do first is I'm going to talk about this method. Now every string, so I have two strings here, x and y, they inherit their own methods. So we're going to deal with x, at least for the time being. So x, and I use the dot operator, and the dot operator allows me to access the methods. So I say x dot length, and what this does is, right now it will do nothing, but what this method does is it basically counts how many items are within the quotes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there's two ways that we can use this method. One, I can say int a equals x dot length. The reason this is legal is because what this method does is it spits back an int variable. That's why this is legal. And then what I can do is I can just print out a, and as you can see in the console, it prints out 5. So that's one way to do it, but I can also do this. I could copy this, I could paste it, and that also prints out 5. So in both cases with the length, I can either put it in a variable or I can use it just straight into as in a print statement. The other thing is, if I use it in a variable, I can say a times, let's say 5. 25. I can use it numerically, sorry. So that's the length method. It's pretty simple. All right, now let's go on to an easier one, okay? There's a method called toLowercase and toUppercase. And these do exactly what you would assume they do. There's no parameters. So what I would do is I would say, and again, we're just going to use x. There we go. Sys out. There we go. X dot to uppercase. Now, if you're using Eclipse, that'll be right there. And I'm going to sys out again. X dot to lowercase right there. So when I run this, all it does is it turns the string everything either capital or everything lowercase. So can it be useful? It can be, especially if you're like looking at passwords or something like that. Those are certain things like that, but they're very plain and simple. It can simplify things, but the name means exactly what it says. All right, now this last one right here, x dot equals, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to say y, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this inside a print statement. There we go, perfect. Now what x dot equals y does is it checks to see if one string is equal to the other. Now this is something that's different in Java. In Java, in newer programming languages, you can use an equal sign. In Java, you can't with strings. They build a method that specifically looks, that uses strings to compare to each other. So if I run this, notice that I get a false. The reason why we get a false, this says hello and this says hello. This lowercase h is actually different than the capital H. They're completely separate. So you have to keep that in mind. So you have hello and lowercase hello. Now, what if I didn't care? Okay, what if it was, what if I didn't really care? I was just worried about the letters. I could do something like equals ignore case. In this instance, notice that it's now true. The reason for that is because what the ignore case does is it says, forget about it. As long as it's an H, I don't care if it's capital or not, just go ahead and allow it. you'll use this method if you think about it with emails. Email, it's not case sensitive. You can have capital letters, it doesn't matter. As long as the letters are the same. So start thinking outside of the box a little bit like that. The other thing is that both of these not only can be used with string variables, but they can also be used with literals. So let's say I say x.equals, and in quotes I'm going to say yo, yo, yo. I get a false. Okay, so it's important to know that I can use string variables or I can use literals. I can match it up. Otherwise, I can say HELLO, and in this case, back to true again. So these are the easy methods. I hope you've enjoyed it. I'm going to cover the medium methods next, and then we'll go to the hard ones.